Welcome back, everybody, to Glowing Card Gaming. Tonight, again, I'm just trying different stuff with the channel. So I figured tonight I would tell you a story. And yeah, you're reading that right. I stole a joke from Bill Cosby. Um, and I did tell this on the live stream the other night, but I figured, it would be better just to make a video and actually show Bill Cosby's joke on this. So let me open it up, play it, and then I'll tell you about how I stole this joke. All right, everybody. This is from Bill Cosby himself, and I think this is like 1982 or somewhere. And this is called The Mother's Curse.
My mother looked at it and said, "Oh, how precious." I don't know why she said it. Well, I didn't know then. I know now. Because my mother had put a curse on me. A long time ago, I remember when I was a child what she said. And I've later found out that all mothers put a curse on their children. And they say, "I hope when you get married, you have some children who act exactly the same way that you act." And this curse works. I mean, it started with that child. My wife and I have not been intellectuals since. Oh, my wife was pretty good for a while. But it didn't last that long. It didn't last 2 years.
So yeah, that's the curse, and that is the joke I stole. Now I'm gonna say that and kind of tell this story of it. So I'm gonna give some background information here. I have liked stand-up comedy from a really young age. I told the story about on the live stream about how my dad was watching Robin Williams, and that Robin Williams told some joke, and he was talking about the Queen, but the last line made a twist about how then they I think it was Robin Williams would then have sex with the Queen. But the punchline was extremely funny, and my dad's jaw dropped open. I'll never forget it, wide, and he was staring incredulously. And I just kept looking at him, and I'm like, what is happening right now? Because there was no sound coming out of the man's mouth. I guess he was laughing where he just released all of the air, and there was nothing left inside of him. And then right at the end, there was a slight little giggle. And before he got to that, I actually thought he was having a heart attack or something. I was like, "Dad, are you okay? Is everything okay? Dad, Dad." And he was not responding. It wasn't until that giggle that I realized, oh my God, he's laughing. This is amazing. This is one of the best things I've ever seen. This is just great, the joy that this man experienced. And I've loved stand-up comedy ever since. Um, that being said, I think I liked stand-up comedy even before that, because that was probably when I was 7 or 8, maybe even a little older. I don't remember when that happened. But I'd watched Bill Cosby himself, of course, from the clip we just saw, from Eddie Murphy Raw, Delirious was another one of his. I watched some of Red Fox, but I just didn't find him as funny. He's okay, but I just don't find him as funny. Louis Anderson, hilarious. Rita Rudner, and then there's some of the classics like, and I'm thinking of female comics, and Lucille Ball is funny, no doubt about it. Carol Burnett's funny, no doubt about it. But they didn't do stand up, but like Rita Rudner or some of the other. Um, Marsha Warfield has some really great stuff. Um, so I liked comedy from a very young age, and just watched so much of it. And I highly recommend that. And maybe we'll watch some more stuff on this channel. Just some really good stuff that I've seen over the years. So we may just do that. But to continue the story and tell you how the heck did I steal Bill Cosby's joke? I mean, really. So to give you just a little background on what was happening at the time, um, my paternal grandmother had booked us, me, uh, my aunt, and my two nieces, and herself, uh, a trip on the Durango Silverton train. And if you know anything about the Durango Silverton, I think it's 2.5, 3 hours, maybe even a little more, to take a trip from Durango to Silverton. And then you get there, it's like 11:30 or noon or something like that. And they drive up the train onto a big circle wheel that has all these tracks on it. And to turn it around, they lift the whole disc and spin it and then match it back up so the train's ready to go back on the return trip. All of that, I mean, that's just the trip we were on. It's very scenic, very nice. As we're traveling, my two cousins were starting to annoy each other, as sisters will do. Like one of them just kind of putting her hand near the other one. I'm not touching you, which is another thing Cosby did, but I saw it live there. Like, yeah, he's right. This is really happening. I'm not touching you. She's bothering me. She's bothering me. So it was escalating, and pretty soon they actually started hitting each other and yelling at each other after about 5 or 10 minutes. Finally, my aunt said, "Hey, knock it off, you two. You guys need to separate yourselves, and I don't want to hear another word from you for the remainder of the trip. That's it. I've had enough." She separates them two, and then she said the thing that triggered, in my memory, Bill Cosby. When she said, "I don't know what the heck has gotten into you two." And then the curse came back into my mind. So then I raised my hand, and I'm like, um, I know, I know what's happening. I got it. And the look of astonishment of just somebody having an answer to that question that she didn't expect an answer to was almost priceless in and of itself. She's like, "Well, why? Why are they doing that?" And I said, "Well, it's the curse. Grandma said when you were growing up, I hope you have kids one day that grow up and act exactly the same way you do." And my grandmother, I know she didn't want to laugh in front of my aunt, right like in her face. She turned to the side and just started laughing her butt off. I've never seen my grandmother laugh that hard. Never. But counteropposed to this, I didn't realize the entire train, or at least our car, was filled with nothing but older grandparent age people that had obviously dealt with kids the entire time of their adult lives. And it was like they set off a laughter bomb in the car. Laughter erupted from everywhere. It bounced all around the car. I was smiling like I really said something there. And my aunt got red. She went over and sat next to my grandmother and didn't say anything for the. I mean, we were heading up, so she didn't say anything for the remainder of the trip up. And my two nieces were also embarrassed, although I don't think they quite knew why exactly. But they knew they were being laughed at by everybody on the train. So they had separated themselves and they didn't say anything. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. But the best, the, the, the Feast de Resistance, I don't know what you want to call it, the cake topper, the, the, the stone piece, the keystone to all of this was there were two ladies sitting at the front of the car after everything else had died down. And one of the ladies was kind of looking around like she didn't really understand what was happening. And the lady next to her was laughing, still laughing, so hard. Finally, she really started nudging. I mean, really giving her, because the other lady was like, what, what, what? And finally, after she stopped getting nudged, she reached up and she was wearing a hearing aid, which she had turned off. I think because of my two cousins of their fighting and yelling. So she turned her earpiece down. So then she turned it up, and this lady repeated exactly what I told her. And then she laughed a good, I think it was like maybe 5 minutes after the whole thing started. So, all in all, that is how I stole a joke from Bill Cosby. Um, it's not like I was a stand-up comedian. It wasn't like I made any money from it. It was just great timing, which a lot of comedy is. All right, guys, thanks for indulging me in that short story. I'll go ahead and post this video. I was thinking about playing more Command and Conquer 3, which I think I will wait until tomorrow night. So be sure to join me again for that. I've been thinking about it and strategies. I think I can beat that level now. I'm thinking about how I'm going to do that. I'll reveal that piece of strategy and information tomorrow when I play through Command and Conquer 3, Act 3 for the GDI side. Again, once again, my name is Adam. This is Glowing Card Gaming. Thank you all for joining me. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Hit that notification button so you know when I post a new video or when I'm going live. Thank you all for joining me, and until next time, be good to each other. I'll see you then.